Story 1. One friendship 99.9% out of the window, another one gets kind of weird. Friends trying to comfort me about some personal issues they don't know anything about. So a lot of awkward conversations I'd happily avoid. Story 2. It depends on what exactly you categorize as a secret. For example, I am transgender, but nobody in my life knows, aside from my family and like 2 friends. Even if my friends did know, I don't think anything would change. Maybe it would be a bit awkward in the beginning, but who cares? That's pretty much my only secret if we only consider actions as secrets. If thoughts count too, I guess it would be annoying but not catastrophic still. Story 3. No problem. Just change passwords and keep chugging along. I have no secrets. It takes too much brain power to keep lies consistent. It is easier to just tell the truth. Story 4. Aside from identity theft and the possibility of corporate espionage, I would probably be fine. I hate having my own secrets and would rather people know what they are getting if they choose to be my friend. It alleviates social anxiety and weeds out the weak. Story 5. If there were no statute of limitations, I am pretty sure both my parents would be in prison for child neglect. It is not that I do not have any secrets. It is just that I have hidden my childhood and tried being good for so long that when everything comes out, it will not be me thrown under the bus. Story 6. Pretty sure this is a question everyone thinks would be nightmarish, so it's a little redundant. But then again, I scrolled and someone's secret is they sometimes go back for second samples from the Costco, take one trays, or have a crush on a friend, so shout out to you all. You all are going to heaven. Story 7. Honestly, not bad. I try really hard to live my life so I could sit there and watch a movie of myself and not feel too bad. My early years weren't great, but I've tried really hard since I got my life together. Story 8. I suppose if anybody ever found out, I generally enjoy the company of dogs as friends and companions ahead of human beings simply because they are a lot easier to get along with. Dogs are better than most people. Story 9. The only secrets I have are really kinky porn habits. I kind of think that if that got out in the open and it wasn't my fault, I'd start getting some random offers. To answer your question, somewhat in a bad way to a lot in a good way. Story 10. I'd be in a difficult situation. I think I'm a fairly good person, but there are certain things that other people don't need to know. Things that are just very private or could potentially hurt someone. I think most people have secrets or at least things that are very private. Story 11. My wife, son, and maybe daughter-in-law would be heartbroken about how little regard I have for people other than them. Everyone at work would probably stop speaking to me if I didn't get fired. My friends and acquaintances would never look at me the same way. Story 12. Meh. I have done some crazy things in my life, but I'm also generally not an asshole to other people, and I'm not a criminal, so not too bad. No dead bodies or secret family, etc. Story 13. Meh. Nothing that would put me in prison at least. Some sexual things I'm not too proud about. Maybe my high school diploma would be invalid for cheating on a test. Story 14. Really not that messed up. I have nothing to hide. The poor choices I've made in the past I will happily and embarrassingly admit to others if it were ever put on show because I am not that person any longer. Story 15. Thanks to two-factor authentication, not terribly. There are a couple of things I think about regularly, such as intrusive thoughts, that might deeply concern some people if they were to know. However, what I've actually done could be an open book, and with a few exceptions, no one would raise an eyebrow at it. Those exceptions came at moments when I was young and under extreme emotional distress, and, in context, they were no big deal. Taken out of context, they could certainly make me look extremely bad, but not criminal. Also, my 1996 to 2001 internet chat history would probably get me canceled, but what former teenage edgelord can't say that? Fortunately, those logs are probably long gone. Really, the worst that would happen is some people would be like, wow, you were a real jerk over 20 years ago. Or, you need therapy. Yes, both of those things are true and I am in it already, thank you. Story 16. The only secret I have is that I accidentally stole a pair of shoelaces from Payless when I was 6 years old. I don't know how I didn't realize they were still in my hand when we left, but I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations has run out on that. Also, Payless is out of business, so, Story 17. I wouldn't be surprised. People who were formerly in my life would make things up about me that are worse than anything I've done. They are just gullible, listening to each other. Story 18. Probably my worst fear is being disowned by my family for lying. That's the worst case. Other things could be managed, and I wouldn't lose sleep over the consequences. Story 19. Could not care less. It's not like anyone will put up much of a fuss. I'm still the same person, so it would only be stupid gossip just to make fun of me. Yada yada. Reputation? What reputation? Story 20. If people knew how much I thought about ending it, I would be put on a psychiatric hold, I guess. The bill would probably do what I never would actually get around to doing. Story 21. Well, finally a positive spin to my current life. I had a public drinking problem and downfall about 8 years ago. All my secrets came out then, but I have none to speak of at this time. Being sober and honest is how I do things now. It is not much fun, but I have no real secrets to speak of. Story 22. Young me would want to crawl myself into a shallow grave. Older me would be pretty indifferent about it. Like Eminem's line in 10 Mile, tell me something about myself I don't know. Story 23. If we're being honest, my marriage would be over. I would definitely lose my job and possibly lose access to my kids. But my secrets provide us a good life. My wife knows that some things are done in the shadows, but not how dark the shadows actually are. Story 24. Meh, I would be viewed as what I am, which is human. I haven't done anything super bad, and everything bad I have done is a reflection of bad things that were done to me by others, their secrets. Story 25. Personal secrets would make for some awkward social exchanges, but not much more. Passwords and other security details would be pretty bad. Professional secrets, though, I have access to some fairly sensitive information, so I would be in significant trouble there. Story 26. Let me think. Not much. I've tried to live a good life. A couple of folks might be in for it since I am not a snitch, a couple of mildly awkward conversations, and I think one friend might kick me because of something 30 years ago. That's probably it. Story 27. Nothing I haven't already told my wife. So maybe some explanations to my family? Maybe questions from people I now consider strangers. But why do I care about their input? Story 28. I'm perceived as the white sheep of my feral family and the queen of comportment to my wild friends and chaotic colleagues. So if all my darkest, deepest secrets got out, I feel pretty confident I'd get nothing but mad respect from everyone. Once they got over the shock, of course. Story 29. 0. Sadly, I'm a good, boring human. You guys do know all of these. Tell us your anonymous, deepest, darkest secrets, and they will be used against you. Even though you are using a throwaway account, they will find you. Sad. Story 30. No secrets. I'm very boring. The most scandalous thing about me is the fact I want my brother dead. And everyone that knows me already knows this, including him. Story 31. I think I would be okay. Some would be shocked that I am not quite as good of a person as I seem. Others would probably have more sympathy for me after seeing where my character flaws stem from. More than anything, I think people would be surprised to know how often I feel an intense level of desire, as I try to play it down a fair bit. Story 32. If my former girlfriend starts to squeal, I'll do life in prison for sure. She knew all my secrets, and I worked with the Los Zetas cartel for many years. I have turned my life around since then. Let's hope the secrets don't come back to haunt me. Story 33. Oh, this is something I'm actually super proud of. I have very few secrets. My secrets are all sexual: what, who, when, where, and all I am willing to say is everyone was consensual. Haven't cheated, haven't lied. And as an adult, if all that was released and I was judged, that's their issue. Story 34. Assuming you mean things we've done that we're not proud of and could damage our reputation. I'm mostly clean, but I'd definitely be embarrassed about a couple of things, though nothing that would ruin me. And if a felon can become president, then I'm good to go. Story 35. Aside from identity theft issues, if you count social security number and such secret, not a lot would change. I let all my secrets out myself a few years ago, so I do not have to worry about people finding out about them. Story 36. I am so boring. It would not have much effect. Kinda makes me feel like I should lead a more adventurous life, but that sounds exhausting. I am okay with being lame. Story 37. I have stopped caring about a lot of things. When I was younger, it would have been catastrophic. Now, I do not care. The main issue would be keeping your job, I would imagine. Since it is no longer a secret if you have issues with people or do not agree with how things are done, and your inner monologue is now something others can hear too. Story 38. Honestly, I'd be in trouble with a couple of friends, but only because my secrets are their secrets, if that makes sense. But I just keep living life because I know it will all be okay. My biggest secret is trauma-based, and I'm not ashamed of it after 15 years of therapy. Big whoop. Life goes on. Story 39. Well, if someone tries to take this baby from me, I'm gonna have more secrets to bury. My daughter isn't mine biologically, but my name's on the paperwork and everyone thinks I am. I am keeping up the ruse because she's my very best buddy and I'll be damned before she has to go fatherless. Story 40. I've never harmed or done any of that. So if my secrets got out, there would probably be some embarrassing stuff in there, but I wouldn't go to prison for any of it. Story 41. I tend to overshare. I do not really have many secrets left. The few secrets I have not shared completely are due to them just being so traumatic that my brain has all but erased most of the details to keep itself functional. Story 42. I would just hide under a rock and never show my face again. My skin? Yes, I would want to crawl out of it. I keep that locked up in my mind for a reason. Story 43. I'd probably have a few girls chat me up. It wouldn't be many, but some. The rest would be like, yeah, that makes sense. It is highly unlikely that I would go to jail. Story 44. I'm pretty sure all of my secrets are already out. The only secrets I still keep are the nuclear weapons research information, and those secrets harm the world more than myself. I won't be the one to leak it, though. Story 45. I'd have some awkward conversations, but all in all, I love a good life. I've always prided myself on honesty. Passwords would be kind of embarrassing to be out. But what are you going to do? Story 46. To be honest, not much will change except for how people will realize how selfish I was in my college years. I admit, I was a horrible person to be around. Not a complete jerk, but that woe is me nerd type, if that makes sense. People change, and I'm just now getting my life together. I'm not expecting pity or help. I dug myself into my own hole and I'm getting myself out of it. Besides, all my secrets are already on Reddit. Not much to hide. Story 47. I'm a blabbermouth, so I don't really have any secrets. If we're talking about things I just don't talk about with certain people, I don't think anyone I know would really care. They all know I'm a weirdo and are cool with me just being me. Story 48. My secrets have all been public to my detriment. However, I do have the comfort of knowing that blackmail is virtually impossible in my life since I have made all of my foolish mistakes visible to everyone in my social circle. Story 49. Is this just secrets about me or secrets I keep for others? If secrets got out about me, I'd be fine. If secrets I hold for others got out, there'd be a decent amount of nuclear fallout. Story 50. Many people I love or have loved in the past would be disappointed, shocked, or hurt. Lots of little decisions I made while in my teens and early 20s were not always mindful of others close to me, but I managed to keep a great majority of it hidden. Story 51. To be honest, not too much since I don't have many secrets about me besides trauma, which only one person knows about. But besides passwords and stuff, that's about it. I'm also not a person to hide and lie since my mind gets overwhelmed with intrusive thoughts for lying and hiding things about myself. I know it's a curse, but I guess it makes me trustworthy. Story 52. I am overly honest and share too much information almost to a fault. I have no shame. I would be just fine. Anyone who I would care what they think already knows the grimy and unpleasant things I have done in the past. Story 53. I'm boring as hell, but the amount of secrets my social and work circle of friends have shared would cause a frenzy if they all got out. People love oversharing with me. No idea why. Story 54. Aside from some sexual things I've never actually acted on, nothing illegal, just not things you want your family knowing. I don't really think there's anything that bad. Story 55. I think some people would shame me for placing my baby for adoption when I was 19. If they knew how crazy my family was, and if they knew the guy was beating me when I was pregnant, they might be nicer about it, but who knows? Story 56. Define secrets. Can they read my mind? Do they have a chronological detailed list of things I've done or might not want anyone to know? If I tell all my secrets to one person, are they still secrets? How are they getting out and how big is the audience? Story 57. I don't really have any that matter. Most of my secrets are nice things I've done quietly and without telling anyone. I don't have any dark ones I can even think of. Story 58. I cringe a lot at my past and I get flashbacks like I've been to war. But sometimes we have to kill the part of us that cringes, not the part of us that does cringe stuff. Story 59. If every single one of my deepest secrets came out, I wouldn't be ruined, but I'd never be able to look my family and friends in the eyes, knowing that they know everything. I don't have anything criminal or even too immoral that I'm keeping secret, but sometimes I enjoy some of the most bizarre stuff online, and I'd be so embarrassed by some of the everyday household items I've creatively turned into, well, toys. The shame would be intense, but overall I wouldn't be ruined by any of my secrets. Story 60. Nothing happens. I learned long ago lying is not worth it. I have no memory and I want to live a peaceful life, so no secrets or anything. Nothing to hide.